Hello, good morning boys and girls. My name is Eli Stephen Joshua. I am Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering from Vignan Institute of Information Technology, Visakhapatnam. So today we are going to discuss about a Python programming. So the Python programming is for VR 17 third year students. So this is my lecture number 1. So these are the course content from unit number 1. The unit number 1 I have divided into 3 modules. Coming to the module number 1, in the module number 1 I will talk about a history of a Python and a need of a Python programming. And coming to the module number 2, that is Python basics, I will talk about the applications of a basic Python programming. And next one I will talk about the using the REPL shell. So coming to the REPL shell, if you want to know what is a REPL shell is, so coming to here, you have to understand what is a REPL shell here is. Coming to the Python execution, Python can be executed in three different platforms. In that, the first one is a interactive shell that we are calling it as a Python idle. Second one, using command prompt, I can execute my Python programs. And coming to the next one, third one, that is by using a various IDEs, which is nothing but a integrated development environments. By using these three, I can happily execute my Python programs. Well, coming to the Python idle, which I am calling it as an interactive shell, usually my interactive shell will look like this. For example, assume that this is my Python shell. An interactive shell will start with a 3 greater than symbols, followed by here I will start writing my Python programs. Here I will start writing my Python programs. So first of all, you have to know what is a REPL is. So observe R, E, P and L. So here R stands for REPL. Here R stands for read. R stands for read, and E stands for evaluate. E stands for evaluate. E stands for evaluate, and P stands for print. P stands for print, and next one T stands for loop. This is a REPL. So REPL is not a online editor, but it is one of the feature in Python programming. Make sure you remember this point. And coming to the next one, we will talk about what are the variables, assignment operators, and next one we will study about keywords which are there in a Python, and next one we will study how to read an input from a keyboard, how to display an output in your screen, that is an input and output functions that we will see. And next one, last one is we will see how a indentation works in a Python. Coming to the module number 3, in the module number 3 we will talk about what are the various operators in a Python programming. Python is a very simple language, simple programming language. Coming to the Python, whatever the operators we have seen in a C language, C++ programming, Java programming, all those operators are available here in Python as well. We can happily work with those operators without worrying too much about anything. So these are the various modules these are the 3 modules in a Python programming. In the lecture number 1, We will concentrate about a module number 1, that is an introduction. In the coming series of lectures, I will talk about a module number 2 and module number 3 in detail. So coming to the next important thing, learning contents. Today I am going to talk about what is a Python programming language is. Next one, we will study about a Python history, and next one we will talk about a why Python, and next one we will talk about a possibilities of a Python. So these are my lecture contents for today's lecture. And next one is, we will talk about a lecture objective. What is my lecture objective? So today my lecture objective will be, you have to, by the end of this lecture, you have to understand the basic essence of a Python. That is my first objective. And coming to the second one is, you have to understand the various advantages in a Python. These are my two objectives I have to reach by the end of the lecture. And coming to the next one is, what are the outcomes? So the various outcomes are, by the end of this lecture, you will understand the history of Python programming and what Python is giving me, which other languages are not giving me. You will understand the basic differences between these 2 points. So coming to the next important thing, next slide, that is, what is a Python? We have to understand the definition of a Python programming language. So a Python is a high level programming language for general purpose programming. So here I will stress more on a word, that is a general purpose. I will talk about a main important point, that is a general purpose. Python is a general purpose programming language. Why a Python is called as a general purpose programming language? We have to understand that first of all. So before going into deeper into the subject, I'll quote within a small example, a real-time example. I'll quote a small real-time example and I will explain you what is a general purpose programming language is. For example, I want to, it's a Sunday, so my wife told me to purchase a vegetables, a grocery, and a few other things like a cake. What usually I'll do, I'll go to grocery to nearby store, I'll go to purchase vegetables to the market, local market, and in order to purchase a cake, I'll have to go to bakery which is on the, which is a 3 kilometers far from my home. So if you observe carefully here, I have to go so many places. As a result, what's happening? The time has been wasting a lot on Sundays. Instead of that, the wise person or an intellectual or a smart person, what he does is, instead of going to this many shops and wasting this much of hours, I'll do a simple thing. I'll visit a local Spencer market. Under a Spencer market, I'll find out a vegetables, I'll find a bakery, and I'll find a vegetables. So if you, as a result, what's happening? The wastage of time has been minimized, and I am under one roof, I am able to purchase all the things. So here I'll say that a Spencer's hypermarket is a general purpose supermarket. In the similar way, my Python is a general purpose programming language, which means under a one roof, I can able to develop a various softwares. What are those various softwares? Let me call analogy. So observe carefully, Python is a general purpose programming language. Programming language. So, as a result, remember the previous example I have quoted. As a result, what I can do, I am able to develop a web applications, I can build a web applications, I can develop a mobile applications, like that I can develop a variety kind of softwares. So that is why my Python is known as a general purpose programming language. By using a Python, even I can develop a drivers as well. That's the beauty of a Python. I hope you got what is a general purpose programming language is. So coming to the very important next point is, my Python is the author of a Python is a Guido van Rossum. He's a Dutch author, Dutch programmer. Remember his name. And it was released in 1991. The beauty of Python is, Python was authored or created before the Java, but no one knows how to use a Python at that time. So happily I can say that it was before Java. And next one, it was a interpreted language but not a compiled language. That is the beauty. And next one is, it is an open source. That means anyone can use the software without any hurdles, without any problems, because the source code and bytecode of a Python interpreter are available in www.python.org. Remember these points. And coming to the next one, we will look at the Python history in detail. So coming to the Python history, the principal author of a Python is a Guido van Rossum. I have already explained you in my previous slide. And second one, he is the author. And coming to the next one, he was studied in University of Amsterdam. He done MA in computer science. And next one, he worked in a Google from 2005 to 2012. And after that, he shifted to Dropbox, and there he worked till 2019. So this is his entire introduction about a Python, a Python author, that is a Guido van Rossum. So what motivated him? Why? Python is just a hobby language for him. So what happened is, during the Christmas time, when he was on vacation, he was all alone left in his home. Because he was all alone, he wanted to work with a programming language, and that inculcated the idea to create a new programming language. And he wanted to create a scripting and interpreted language, which that small hobby has made him to create a beautiful language that today we are calling it as a Python. Hope this, through this phase you will get motivated. And coming to the next one, what is an interpreted languages? You have to know what is an interpreted languages. So coming to the interpreted language, if you observe carefully, for example, a C and C++, I have to compile my program. What happens after compilation? For my C programming and a C++ program, a machine dependent code will be generated, and that machine dependent code will work on that system only. As a result, C and C++ has failed when internet came into existence. So in 1991, people need a new programming language, and Java came into existence in 90s. As a result, Java supporting a wide range of applications and internet applications. Because of that, Java became so popular. So what's the working in Java? What's happening? Even Java is a compiled and an interpreted language. If you observe carefully here in this diagram, whenever I write a code in Java, first of all that code will be compiled. So if you observe carefully, in order to compile my Java program, what I have to do, let me explain you with on a clearly on board. For example, if I want to compile my Java program, what I'll do? So first of all, I'll write like this: Java C, Java compiler, and the name of my program, hello world dot java. This is the line I have to give in my command prompt. I am saying, hey compiler, Java compiler, compile my hello world Java program. If there are no errors, if it was successful, then the compiled code will be given to your JVM, Java virtual machine, and now my Java virtual machine will convert that code into a machine dependent code. So for that, next what I will do, Java hello world. So this is coming to this diagram. I have code, I have compiled it, a bytecode will be generated, and I will give that bytecode to a Java virtual machine, and that the JVM will create a machine dependent code for that system. And coming to the Python, Python is since it is an interpreted language, here my interpreter will come into picture, and this will convert my code into a machine dependent form. So what is an interpreter? So before C, C++ and Java, first of all I have to write my entire program. After writing the entire program only, I can able to compile my program. After compilation is successful, then my interpreter will come into picture. For example, in between, if I abruptly stop my C program and if I compile it, then the compiler will give me an errors. That means in between I cannot check each and every line of my C program instruction. Why? Because it is a functional oriented programming, which is in a compiled language. In between, for example, int a comma b, I have declared a variable. I cannot compile immediately. If I compile it, then it will give me an error. I can only compile when I am done with a complete set of program. But when it comes to a Python programming, I can see the output line by line, instruction after instruction. If you are interested to see the output, happily we can see it. That is why, that is the beauty of a Python programming. Observe carefully, I want to talk one important thing here. The motivation of creating a Python is simple. Guido van Rossum, what he has done is, he had motivated from so many programming languages. That's why the very first point we have to remember here is, the very first point, he has imported the functional orientation concepts, functional oriented concepts from C language. And second one, he has imported the scripting concepts from PHP and Ruby. And next one, modules has imported from Modula 3 language and next one he has imported the very important thing, he has imported the OOPS concepts from C++. So these are the concepts Guido van Rossum has has implemented in Python. And coming to the syntax in Python, what he has done is from a C programming language, and from ABC programming language, if I combine from these two languages, he has taken syntaxes, Guido van Rossum. So these are the various important points we have to remember. I hope it is clear. So coming to the these are the things. This is all about interpreted languages. And coming to the next one, Python history. So Python has a two stable versions, 2.x, which was stopped on October 2000, and right now the current stable version of a Python is 3.8.5, and Python 2.x was released in October 2000, and Python 3.x was released around December 2008. So what is the design philosophy of a Python? It is simple. Code should be able to easy to understand. And coming to the next one, expressive syntax with a fewer lines of code. If you have seen C or C++ or Java, there we will have to work within lots of lines of a code. For example, if a non-technical guy wants to learn a programming language, looking at the syntaxes and lines of a C and C++ and Java, he never loves to do coding. But coming to the Python has changed the entire picture. By looking at the syntaxes, by looking at the lines of code, happily a non-technical guy or a mathematical guy can come and do the coding happily. That's the beauty of a Python. That is the main reason why a Python has become a boom in a software industry. I hope it is clear for you. And now next, coming to why it was named a Python. Why not it was named with some other a catchy name? And it was simple, and I have taken this line from Guido van Rossum himself. What he said is, I need a short and simple and unique and a slightly mysterious name, so I decided to name that as a Python. But there is one more other important reason why he named it as a Python. While developing a Python programming on a BBC channel in 1991, I think, there was a popular comedy show that is a Monty Python Circus. During developing, he has inspired from that comedy show. That's why, as a tribute, and the name also unique, that's why from that circus comedy show, he picked up the Python word and he named this language as a Python. That's why he named it as a Python. And coming to the next one, why Python? I already told you, easy to learn. And next one, simple syntax. No need to know the deeper understandings of a curly braces. When to open a brace, when to close a brace. No need to learn like an C or CPP. And next one, write less, do more. I'll directly import what are the things I want. And next one, code readability. I can happily read and understand code since Python is a high-level programming language. And next one, versatile and flexible. Compared with other programming language, this has got a lots of features that we will understand slowly on my coming lectures. So what are the various possibilities? Sir, tell me, what are the various avenues? I have learned completely Python. I have learned everything in my Python. Now tell me, what are the various possibilities where I can make my career? If you ask me this question, then my straight answer would be, first one, in the machine learning industry, you can make your career. And coming to the next one, that is in computer vision is one of the possibility there you can make your career. And coming to the next one, that is in the web development. For example, Python supports the web development, so there you can make your career. And coming to the next one, that is in game developments, I can, by using a Python libraries, I can happily develop a game. And next one is in web scraping. Web scraping is another field where you can make your career. And next one is desktop applications, which is happily I can develop a desktop applications. And last one is automation industry. For example, if you want to automate Internet of Things, which is a big boon, there you can make our career. So these are the various possibilities and the various advantages of learning a Python programming. So now we will understand how a Python and machine learning both are interlinked. I mean, if you are good at Python, then you will excel like anything. I mean, in various industries. So a Python has in a machine learning technology, there are a few frameworks, that is the TensorFlow, scikit-learning, NumPy and Pandas. There are so many frameworks in order to work with in a machine learnings. All these frameworks, if you have worked within a machine learning, I mean in your next academic year you will learn about machine learning. If you have, while working, then you will understand how a Python has made our work so easy. So these are the various use cases of a machine learning. So by using a machine learning, I can able to create a chatbots, speech recognition. I can able to predict a disease, whether the person is suffering from a cancer or not, whether the tumor is a benign or malignant, that I can happily predict using a machine learning. And in turn, these machine learning frameworks are being implemented in Python. Remember that point. Python, what are the frameworks which are there in right now in market? All those, what are the frameworks? All those frameworks were developed in a Python. Remember that's why. Remember that one. So I can happily work in a machine learning industries. For example, the popular machine learning company industry right now is a Apple, a Microsoft are working on. Microsoft is doing R&D on it. Apple is doing R&D on it. Google is doing R&D on it. So learning a Python is an advantage for those who want to make their career in machine learning field. And coming to the next one, the next important field where you can make your career is in computer vision industries. For example, those who know about a Tesla cars, the most popular Tesla car, and it was owned by Elon Musk. Why it became so popular? The reason is simple. The automation. The car is completely automated. For example, if a driver sleeps after traveling, if a driver sleeps after a few seconds, the car will automatically park to the nearby road without interfering with the driver. So computer vision is another popular field. For example, if I jump the traffic signal, then my CC cameras are catching me and it is sending me a challan to my home. There I am using computer vision. So all the computer vision, for example, here the framework I am using is an OpenCV. This OpenCV framework was implemented in a Python. That's the reason why you have to learn a Python. And coming to the next one is a web development. By using a Python, I can happily develop a websites, and the framework for that one is a Django and a Flask. By using these two frameworks, I can able to build a web applications beautifully. And coming to the next one is I can happily develop a games. Earlier what happened is the person who is familiar with the C++ programming or the person who is familiar with C# programming or a person who is familiar with some platform, they can only build the program games. But after learning a Python, I'm saying you, if you show a literal interest to learn this Python programming, then happily you can develop a games. And next one is a web scraping. Web scraping is another beautiful thing in computer science. By using a web scraping, I can able to pull all the data which is there inside, on the database happily. By authentically, I am able to scrap every data. So the frameworks here is a beautiful soup and scrappy, which these two frameworks are implemented, are written, frameworks are in Python. And next one is desktop applications. I can happily build a desktop applications as well using a Tkinter and Python Qt. So these are the various possibilities of learning a Python programming language. So if you want to make your career, right now choose it. If you want to make your career in machine learning, so the choice for that, the only one way to become a master in machine learning is by learning a Python and mathematics. Or if you want to make your career in web development, the option is either you learn Java or a Python. Or if you want to make your career in a gaming industries, then the option for that is either a Python or a C++ or learning a game development or Unity. But my personal choice for you is learning a Python right now is the best thing. So coming to the next one is the browser automation. Browser automation, I can happily automate my browser using a Python. So these are the various possibilities. If you observe carefully the job trends, I have taken the statistics from a Code Mentor and a Indeed job postings. If you observe my visualization carefully, a Python has gaining the popularity and it is standing on the second position. And if you seen this statistics, this visualization, you can understand that the persons who are learning a Python are increasing day by day, and the job postings for Python are increasing more. That means I'm saying the quality of jobs are more for the persons who learn Python programming. Remember, the quality of package is also one of the reasons why people are moving from Java or JavaScript to Python. And the very next thing is, if you observe the popularity index of various programming languages, observe my diagram carefully. Here, the popularity for Python programming are more compared with Java, C programming languages. Within a few years, mark my words, the Python will be the first, will be on the top of the table. That I can say. So coming to the next important thing, what is the need of a Python programming? First one is readable and maintainable code. I can happily read my code. If I want to do any modifications, with easily I can maintain my code or modify my code. That is why more people are showing interest to learn a Python programming. And next one is multiple programming paradigms. I have already told you, Python is having a functional oriented concepts, object oriented concepts, scripting language concepts, modular concepts, and it is in all the programming paradigms are there in a Python. So that is the beauty of a Python. And next one is compatible with major platforms and any systems. That means I can run my Python program on any platforms irrespective of operating system I am using. I can I can make my program to run on a Windows operating system. I can make my program to run on a Mac OS. I can able to run my Python code on a Android systems. That's why I can happily learn a Python. This is one of the major advantage of using learning a Python. And next one is robust standard libraries. In my previous slides, for machine learning there is a TensorFlow. For web development there is a tick enter. For desktop application, there is a tick enter. Like that, for game development, there is a library. So I'm having a various library. By importing those library, I can happily build my applications with an ease. No need of building a program from scratch. And next one is many open source frameworks and tools readily available. I no need to take any money from my pocket. I can happily go to internet or Google it, and I can happily go to it and I can download it and I can work on it. No need to pay anything. All the tools are available. And next one, simplify complex software development. For example, if a non-technical guy, if for example, if a CSC guy wants to work within a mathematics problems on a machine learning environment, in order to write a code for a mathematic problem, instead of choosing a C++ or Java, if I choose in Python, I can happily make the things work with easily. No need to worry about how to develop a code from scratch, because readily available libraries are there. I'll import those libraries and I will do changes. That's it. No need to worry about everything. And next one is adopt test driven development. This is one of the major beauty of a Python programming. That means while developing a Python program, simultaneously I can do testing. Well, coming to the Java programming environment, after development is done, then I have to take this entire project into testing phase. There I have to give it. But coming to here, because of a adopt test driven development, once simultaneously while developing, I can test everything. So these are the various needs of learning a Python. So if you observe the trend from a Stack Overflow website, the line with a red mark are exponentially increasing, which means the people who are using a Python are drastically increasing, and the people who are using a JavaScript and Java are decreasing modest. These are the assignment questions, students. I want you to note down these assignment questions. First of all, explain in various possibilities of Python. The second question is why we need Python. Note it down. And coming to the second one, this is your quiz. Make sure you note down this quiz. And in my next lecture, I'll explain you the answer. And this is my second quiz. So I want to summarize my today's lecture number 1. So the starting I have told you what is a Python is, and second one I have told you who is the author of a Python, how a Python name has been got, what motivated Guido van Rossum to create a Python, that I have told you. So, and next one, what are the various possibilities of learning a Python, that I have explained you. And next one, how a Python programming has increased, taking advantages over other programming languages, that I have explained you. Hope this, by this lecture 1, you are in a position to choose why Python should be your priority. So these are the various resources. I want all of you to note it down. These are the very important resources. Note it down, or I will share with you, or I will share this important links with you on my next lecture. So that's all for this. Thank you.